This is the one that we stopped on yesterday or Monday or whenever the fuck that was. Whatever that was. I don't remember when that was. That I wanted to read. There we go. Sorry, I'm pulling up something I want to look at later. While I'm thinking about it. So, we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to move on to a subreddit called Am I the Devil, which is essentially the worst of the worst people from the Am I the Asshole subreddit. So, juicy stuff. This one is also an Am I the Asshole, but this is from Best of Updates. Right? No? Did it not pull from the Best of Updates one? How do I find it on Best of Updates? Because that's where I originally found it. Oh boy, the lag. Oh boy. Right? Is that this one? Yes, it is this one. Sorry, I thought I saw something. I purposefully saved it, and it doesn't seem it saved the correct one, which is disappointing, because I would like the updates version, so we get the whole story. Where is wife's? I didn't pull it up. Weird. Well, fuck me. Not sure how you find it on the Best of Reddit updates if you're looking for an original post. You know? Oh, this is the Chicken Quest. We've read this one before. Huh? I'm so confused. Hold on. Also, I don't remember saving any of these, but, you know. This is the one I saved. The one that I had pulled up. Whatever. We're not going to rate it. Forget it. Moving on. Let's do Am I the Devil? So, this, like I said, this one is, all of these are pulled from, Am I the Asshole? But these are the ones that are deemed the biggest assholes end up on r/Am I the Devil. So, the place where it's obvious OP is the asshole. So we are going to work our way through these. All right. My ex-girlfriend got revenge on me, and I am so broken. Alrighty. Oh, this is from r/True Off My Chest, but it somehow ended up here, which is saying something. Because most of the ones on Am I the Devil are from Am I the Asshole. So when they come from a different one, like True Off My Chest, very interesting stuff. All right. I, male 25, have been with my ex-girlfriend Carly, female 23, for nearly 10 years. We were high school sweethearts, and we had a good relationship up until after she completed college. Adulthood has been putting strain on our relationship, so bills and finding and sustaining jobs has been a challenge. We started arguing a bunch and just started overall being annoyed with each other's existence. We weren't sleeping in the same room, let alone be intimate. It was a tough time to say the least. We tried therapy, and I felt like it wasn't working. I honestly wanted it to be done, but I couldn't break up with her because we lived together and she helped me get out of debt. So I did something horrible, and I started cheating on her with her childhood best friend. I thought she would never find out, and my gosh, was I wrong. Yesterday afternoon, I came home and she wanted to talk, and without hesitation, she jumped straight into it and asked me point blank if I was cheating on her, and I, of course, tried to lie, and she just starts laughing and says, I knew you weren't going to admit it, but I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, so now I just feel less guilty. I just confessed to her, and she looked at me and didn't have any expression nor speak. When I finished, she laughs and told me that I would never forget it. Honestly, it's fine because Louis was over last weekend, and we had a great time. My heart drops to my stomach because Louis is my big brother. What about Louis? Who the fuck's Louis? When did Louis come into the conversation? Oh, she said, honestly, it's fine because Louis was over last weekend and we had a great time. Okay, she's saying I fucked your brother. Okay. Sorry, the quotations threw me off there. Yes, he did. He did, in fact. My heart dropped to my stomach because Louis is my big brother. I just thought it was a bit of a low blow on Carly, given she knows how insecure I am about my brother. He's the golden child and literally always did things 10 times better than me. I'm stuck having to have some sort of relationship with him. Meanwhile, she can just drop her friend. My chest and heart has been hurting so much since I found out, and I'm so broken. I know I was wrong for cheating first, but if she knew, why didn't she just break up with me first? I called out of work because I feel like throwing up, but just thinking about it. Because I throw up just thinking about it. Edit, I did not intend for this to be a viral post. I'm just extremely hurt, and I fucked up. Also, yes, I know she did because she offered viral video proof, and my brother has been dodging my calls. I'm going actually insane right now, and all you people here are just obsessed with kicking me while I'm down, and it's fucked up. Like, I get lol, so funny. She won, good for her. Also, with the debt she helped me pay off, she just did it from her inheritance. I didn't ask her. If she asked for the money back, I'd be willing to set up some payment arrangement with her. Well, it seems like cheater got cheated on and is mad about it, so I don't see what the issue is here. Yeah, right? She's like, oh, you want proof? I've got proof. Like, so he'd been cheating on her, and it seems she found out and then fucked his brother to get back at him. Honestly, good for her. Good for her. I'm a side with her. It's a low blow. She knows I'm insecure about my brother, but fucking her best friend wasn't a low blow. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but like, sir, you are not the victim here. Exactly. He's hurt because his brother does everything 10 times better. OP is hurt because Carly now knows what good sex is. Yeah, his poor fifis. I don't even necessarily believe she slept with the brother. Probably just said it to be petty. But either way, good for her, GIF. Yeah. If she offered a video proof, though. What do you mean? I minimize them as I go through because you never know how long you're going to have to scroll to get past it. Past the thread. This one? This one? The Religion of Carly. Trying to figure out what I'm sorry, I'm thinking about 3 things at once right now, as per usual, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to watch tonight while I take all this stuff down on the wall here. So 2 more? What do you mean 2 more? 2 more is the top. What are you talking about? You just having me open everything? Okay, that one wasn't super juicy, but I'm sure we can find something juicier as we go. You all want to see how messy my room is? Because it's a lot. So that big box down there has the medium box, has all of my pop figures and all of my other figures in it, like the Levi, the Carnage. It's got everyone but Link is in that box. Link is over there because he's too fucking big. The little box on top has all of my One Punch in it. Those are empty. Those two white ones are empty. They're gonna have everything on the wall in them, with the exception of the big posters. Those banker boxes over there in the far corner have all of my books and movies and games in them. And you can't see it, but just off camera over here, there's 3 giant tubs full of clothes on the bottom, and then bed sheets in the middle, and then on the top is just a bunch of nonsense right now that I need to sort out. And then, so the desk over here is quite empty, which I know you can't really see. Let's see. So there used to be the tower here with the games on it. I took the tower down. It's in the box with the pop figures. There's a box done on the floor below these posters. It's got my big compendiums from Invincible, as well as The Walking Dead in them. And then there's behind everything over there is just a bunch of boxes and stuff that need to have stuff put back in them. I've tried to move stuff into my office once I've packed it up from other rooms, so that way it's all in one place. But tonight, after we are done here and after I go pick up my car, I'm gonna break down I'm gonna leave up one monitor while it uploads the VOD, and then break down all the other monitors and take down all the cables and the PlayStation and the camera. All of the stuff that I can break down that's not the desk itself will be broken down tonight. And then once the upload is done, I'll break down the rest of the computer, and put it all away. I need to blow out the computer with the air canister, get all the dust off of it. I try to do that each time I move, or once a year, depending on how long I stay in one place. It's been sitting with it open to the outside, so maybe it's not as dusty, but who's to say? I try to leave it open so that way it doesn't get too hot, but you know, I hate moving even when movers are involved. Yeah, I don't have any movers to pack, like to load it up. Max is going to help me load up the moving box when it gets here. But I do have movers to help me unload stuff in Omaha, so that's nice, because I can't move that couch by myself, especially not down the tiny narrow little stairwell that I have to move it down. So I'm glad my parents were like, are you going to pay for movers? And I was like, they're only a little bit more expensive if you get movers. So yes, let's pay for movers. And so they paid for movers, which is really nice. Because I was not sure how I was going to do that myself. So tonight, the wall is coming down as much as I can. I'll probably leave up those 2 big ones, but everything else is coming down. The walls will be empty tomorrow, or tonight. They shall be emptied. I need to take that DeSantis flag down as well. I'll probably put it in with the... I'll put it in as padding and something, so... but yeah, I just wanted you to know I'm surrounded by a bunch of shit, so I packed up a bunch of all of the clothes that I'm not going to take with me, like directly with me, because I've got a lot of clothes that I don't wear very often, but that I will wear eventually, or I just don't wear them a lot because I can't wear them to work, because I prefer to wear like black shirts to work because they get really dirty at work. So I don't want to wear like a nice white shirt and then get a horrible stain on it and then be fucked and have destroyed a perfectly good shirt. So that's why this bin of shirts and stuff, shirts and some pants are going in the moving pod because I won't need them immediately. And then all the other clothes I'm just going to throw in a vacuum bag and seal that fucker up and take it in the car with me. So, yeah, it was a very ADHD level of packing last night. It was very much, I was intending to just do the clothes last night, but then my brain was like, let's pack up the books and let's empty out some other boxes and let's do this and then let's do that. So, yeah, we love that. I didn't get around to the clothes until like 2 a.m. 2:40 a.m. last night, so I didn't finish packing until about 5, even though I was going to go to bed closer to 3 so that I could wake up early today. I still ended up waking up early, but oh well. It is what it is, and I still haven't watched Evil Dead Rise yet, even though that's been on my list since it came out on my site last week. Maybe I'll watch it in here tonight while I take stuff off the walls. Who knows? We watched John Wick 1. And then we didn't end up having time to watch another movie after that. Well, we did. It was just going to be tight. So I was also falling asleep because I was exhausted. So all right. My hands were so dry. I needed some lotion. Sorry. I also need to shut down my PlayStation all the way, so I can pack it up tonight, put it in its box, and let it sit there for a week. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, next post. Am I the asshole for laughing at my girlfriend when she suggested I should offer to pay the bill for her family? I find it interesting that they changed the name of it when they repost it. Okay. I am a 23-year-old male, my girlfriend 21-year-old female, and we've been together for a year and a half. Her family is super sweet, and I get along great with them. Now, my girlfriend's dad is pretty well off. Every time I've gone out to dinner with her family, he always foots the bill. Her family has been great to me. They always welcome me in their home. I went on a vacation with them back in the winter. Her parents paid for our hotel for an entire week. Her dad gave her money for food. Granted, it was for her, her brother, and myself. I also only paid for half of my flight because my girlfriend offered to pay the other half. The only thing I really had to pay for is food for a couple of days out of the trip, which my girlfriend pitched in and helped with too. This past weekend, my girlfriend, myself, her younger brother, and her dad went out for brunch. I was spending the weekend with her anyway, so she invited me to join them. Before we left, her and I were talking, and she mentioned how maybe I should offer to pay for brunch, as in for all 4 of us. She assured me that her dad would 1000% refuse to let me pay, but he would probably really appreciate and respect me for offering. Now, here's where I may sound like an asshole, but I honestly laughed at her suggesting this. I told her I would offer to cover her and my portion of the bill, but to expect me to offer to cover the entire bill is absurd. Sure, I work a full-time job and all that, but I have my own bills and stuff to worry about too, and she wants me to offer to pay for a $150 brunch. She told me that if her dad accepted, which she could 100% guarantee he wouldn't, that she would send me half for the bill. I continued to laugh and told her I'm not doing that. I'll offer to pay our half, and that's it. I asked her if the roles were reversed, if she would offer to pay the bill for my family. 8 of us in total, including my girlfriend. She said that's completely different. That's 8 people, not 4. We both have very different upbringings in terms of the situation I mentioned about paying the bill. She grew up with a decently well-off family where they would constantly argue on who would pay the bill because everyone in her family would always offer out of courtesy. I grew up very differently as I come from a family that was not financially well off. If someone offered to foot the bill, you just sit back and let them do it. When we went to brunch, I offered to cover both her and my portion of the bill. Her dad immediately refused and covered the whole bill. She gave me a "I told you so" look. She thinks I was an asshole for how I reacted to the situation and says I shouldn't have trusted her. She told me she needs some space because my reaction to the whole situation is kind of a turnoff to her. She needs to think about the things. Am I the asshole? Yes, you're an asshole. Like, she said, I 100% guarantee he's going to offer to cover it. And then she said, as a backup, on the off chance he doesn't, I'll cover the back half after the fact. Huh? Like, yes, you're an asshole. Like, you couldn't offer, even knowing the fact that he would still cover it, not you. That's also a bit of a the fact that he posted this, and even he didn't even make himself look good at all in this post. Your different upbringings doesn't matter. They always pay for your shit, and you can't even offer to pay for one meal. Like, it seems like they've saved you a lot of money over the years. Over the past year and a half. So, am I the asshole? Her family always treats me to meals and vacations, but I don't want to pay for one meal. Yeah. Obscured instead of absurd is probably the funniest typo I've ever seen. Yeah. I think I know that type of dad. Offering to pay here means showing that you are grateful and has some pride. Then dad knows that you are a decent person and covers the bill. He should have taken the girlfriend's hint. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't even hinting at the end. She literally spelled it out for OP, and he still didn't get it. Yeah. I don't know what financial situation this guy grew up in, because I grew up super poor, and if someone offered to pay, you would him and haw and then be super appreciative. Never have I just, quote, sat back and let them. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's usually what I do. If someone offers to pay for my shit, I go, oh my god, thank you. I don't usually fight them on it, but I'm not just like, you go for it. I'm usually like, oh my god, thank you so much. You know, I'm usually grateful. I will usually express my gratefulness. I don't just sit back and let them, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Even if he had no money in the bank, she assured him that her dad would be like, oh, absolutely not, I'll pay for it. So it's just a nice gesture just so that show that you give a shit, especially to someone who's super wealthy and knows that you're not super wealthy. Offering to pay is like a nice sign of respect, of like, hey, let me chip in, you know. But he couldn't even manage that because he's a fucking idiot. Come on, give me some juicy stuff. That wasn't that juicy. Let's do this year. It doesn't seem this is a very trafficked one, even though there's a lot of members. Oh my. All right. My cousin visited me in Korea, offered to pay half their flight. They said no, they got it. I paid for their B&B and like 90% of the food tab. Yeah. That seems fair, especially since the flight was most likely the most expensive portion of the journey. Yeah. Jesus. Good lord. I'd be like, yes, please help me pay half. Thank you. Like, 5K? Good God. Oh, it was for 3 people? Okay, that makes more sense. It wasn't just the one person. Okay. I was like, that is an expensive flight for one motherfucking person. Like, I know it's a long flight from, I assume they were coming from the U.S. To Korea. Like, I know it's a long flight, but Jesus Christ. California to Korea, yeah. Offering to pay is like even if you can't really fully afford it, it's like just like a courtesy. It's like they said in the last post, it's kind of like showing you give a shit. Like, it's just showing that you care, even if you can't really afford it, especially in his situation where he's offering to pay for something when the other party is super wealthy in comparison. It's just kind of like hey, I appreciate you, let me pay for this one time. You know, like, you always pay, let me pay this one time type situation. As someone who is not the wealthiest, but not super, super poor, and has never been super, super poor, I am always completely willing to let other people pay for my shit, as if they offer, then I'm the type of person that I won't offer to do something if I'm not already willing to do it. Like, I'm not going to offer to pay for food if I don't have the money to pay for food. You know what I mean? Like, my cousin and I went out to dinner yesterday, which was one of the reasons why I couldn't stream yesterday. And I have like no money in my bank account right now because I'm waiting to get paid, so everything's going onto my credit card. So I was hopeful that she would pay for the meal, but if she wasn't going to, if we were going to split the bill, that's not a big deal. I'll put it on the credit card, you know. But when they came and asked for the bill, they were like, the waitress asked, "Do you want it separate or together?" And Emily offered to pay, and I said, "Thank you so much. I have no money." So, so I thanked her for it, and we had a great time, you know. But if she had said split bill, that would not have been an issue for me. I would have made it work. I wasn't gonna offer to pay for her shit, but you know, because especially right now, because I'm moving. But she also understands that. That I'm in the process of moving, and she knows how expensive moving is. So she's a fucking realtor. She knows how expensive it is. So, you know, but so like it's just a courtesy thing. It's also like the whole conversation of, oh, if you go on a date, who pays for the meal? Especially with like queer people, when it's a same-sex date, who pays for the meal? Because, you know, it's like the dude pays for the meal. But if it's both dudes or both women, like, who pays for the meal, you know? And most of Gen Z is like, we just split the bill. Like, unless one of us is stupidly wealthy, you just split the bill. Like, if one person makes 10 times what the other person makes, the person who makes 10 times the money pays for the meal. You know what I mean? Like, you don't split like an $150 bill with someone who makes $150 in a week. You know what I mean? Money is always like not necessarily a hot topic, but it's like it's a divisive topic that not everyone agrees on. Like if I ask a girl out to dinner, I'm gonna pay unless she offers to pay for her half. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to offer to pay because I asked her out. You know what I mean? If she asked me out, I would expect that she would pay for it. You know what I mean? I think it's whoever does the asking is who should be the one who is going to pay for the whole thing if you don't split the bill. Though I am fully for splitting the bill half and half or splitting it based on what you bought, doing split checks, you know. I'm fully for that in every situation. Straight couple, not straight couple, it doesn't matter. Friends, like I'm always for splitting the bill because it makes the most sense, especially since most people are pretty poor these days. So, you know, like Max and I, we go back and forth on paying for dinner. So Max will pay for dinner one night, I'll pay for it the next night, we'll pay for the other night, I'll pay the next night. So instead of just splitting every meal, we just swap back and forth on who pays for dinner because we get pretty much the same stuff every time. If we're going to like Taco Bell and I'm going to be buying myself like multiple meals worth of food, which I do sometimes do at Taco Bell because the Taco Bell food reheats fine, then I will offer to pay it even if it's not my turn because I'm buying more food for myself on top of what Max would be getting. Does that make sense? Whereas like if I'm just buying food for now and Max's food for now and not buying food for later and it's Max's turn to pay, then Max will pay. So that we sometimes switch it up like that. Like if I'm buying, because since I stay up late, sometimes when we go out for food, I will buy food for dinner, but then also food for later after Max goes to sleep, so I don't have to go back out and get more food, you know. Although we'll probably eat in tonight because we've got food to get rid of. I've got some pizza rolls I gotta work on that I probably should have been working on. We had really good meals the past 2 nights. We had Cheddar's last night, and then we had Chili's the night before that, so we've had really good food the past couple days. So I don't know what food Max has here though. So I don't know what they'll want to do. We're gonna go get my car when they get off at 5, which is in 2 hours. But I don't know what they're thinking for food. And then they've got a meeting tonight. So I'm actually gonna go ask right now while I'm thinking about it. Also, I've got a couple games I want to look into on the emulator to see if they are on the emulator at all. Because I've got the Wii copy of Skyward Sword, but I'm not going to have a Wii. So I need to see if they have it on something else, because I don't really want to buy the Switch version just because it's expensive, like the Switch port. But if I can find, if it's on the Wii emulator, what consoles is it on? Oh, just the Wii. Okay. Yeah, because you can get Skyward Sword for the Switch, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere, but it's expensive. Um, yeah, I'm sure it'll be on there. It's a big old vault. Where's my game list? That game's not old enough. Disappointing. Oh, I didn't realize it was a first-person shooter. Well, fuck. Take that off the list. I don't know how I didn't realize it was when I added it to my list, but, you know. Yeah, I have that exact copy of for the Wii, but I'm not gonna have a Wii anymore, so it doesn't really make sense to take the Wii game with me if I'm not gonna have a way to play it, you know. Alan Wake is another one I want to play. But I know they just remade it, didn't they? Oh god, it's $5 on Steam. Huh. It probably runs smoother on the emulator. Because Alan Wake is the only game in the Remedy series I haven't played. So. But it does look like it is on the emulator for the Xbox 360. So. Although it looks like it's been ported over to PlayStation as well. Oh yeah, the remaster is on the PlayStation. I knew they just remade it. The remaster's $30. I'll put that on the wish list. I'll keep an eye on it. If it ends up going on sale on the PlayStation, I'll probably just buy it instead of downloading the Xbox 360 port. But we'll see, because it's not on the list for soon. So I got too many other things on the list for soon, you know. All right, let me go ask Max real quick. Oh. Max, do you have food at home? Do you eat at home tonight? Okay, cool. I've got pizza rolls I need to start making some progress on, so. And that's the only food in there that's like dinner food I have left to get rid of, so. It's like a full bag, so.
I've got a fuck ton of eggs. I need to eat some eggs.
Okay. So I'm gonna probably have like 3 or 4 rounds of pizza rolls tonight. I have one with you, and then probably a couple after you go to bed. Because like I said, it's most of the bag still in there. So. Whenever, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he said probably an hour or two, but that was an hour or two ago, so.
Alright. I'm trying to do some damage control because I fucked up, so.
Yeah, no, we can go whenever you're off at 5, so. Just as long as we're over there before 6, not a big deal.
Alright.
Because that's when they close, so can't get over there after that. Alright, I just wanted to ask to make sure that you weren't planning on going out to eat tonight, or getting food out, so.
No, I have eggs and I have ramen and I need to eat both. I mean, the ramen obviously can come with because it's shelf stable, but the eggs count. So.
Yeah. It's also light, so I'm trying not to travel.
What?
It's also lightweight.
Yes.
I'm trying to travel with no food, like with the exception of like a couple drinks to drink all the way there. I'm trying to travel with as little food as possible. So
I mean, I would still, if you've got shelf stable, definitely recommend it because then your first night there, you don't have to immediately go grocery shopping.
my plan is to immediately go grocery shopping because I need to buy a mattress. So I need to buy a blow-up mattress.
Okay.
So because I'm planning to buy one when I get there instead of buy one and taking it with me. So
Still, if you've got anything shelf stable that's not expired.
yeah, I'll take anything that's shelf stable with me, but.
Yeah, but throwing out as little non-shelf stable food as possible is the name of the game.
Yeah, and I think the only stuff I've got left is the stuff in the freezer. So, which the fruit will all be gone after I use it this weekend. I'll just fill that fucker in as much as fruit as I can into the smoothie. So, I think that's all I've got really left in there. I think I've got one microwave meal left, and then the pizza rolls. So, yeah, doing pretty good on that. All right, I just wanted to make sure. I was just talking to them about food, and it made me think about it. So, wanted to ask while I was thinking about it.
Gotcha.
All right. Y'all aren't gonna get to hear that much more convos with Max about dinner. This is the last day that'll happen. On stream, anyways. All right, let's read this next one. Oh. All right, I'm downloading Skyward Sword. Oof. All right. The original was deleted, so but they tend to back it up just in case the OP comes back and deletes it, which I appreciate. All right. Am I the asshole for wanting to be monogamous with my wife again? I, 31 male, married my wife, 28 female, 5 years ago. 1 year ago, we started an open relationship. We were happy, but our sex life was getting stale. I would go out with my single friends and feel jealous of all the freedom they had to hook up with women. I guess I missed being a bachelor, and I began to resent my wife. I understood this is my own problem, not hers, and I suggested to my wife that we should try an open relationship where we remain committed to each other, but we can have sex with other people. Emotionally, I am only with my wife, and I do love only her. I felt like an open relationship was necessary for the survival of our marriage, and I am not a cheater. After a few discussions, my wife agreed to try it. That's the step to take. If you're feeling like you're not sexually satisfied by your partner, but you still love them and want to stay with them, offer up an open relationship. That's the adult situation to do, but this is an Am I the Asshole post, so we know it's not going to go well. The first few months were great. I hooked up with a coworker who had been flirting with me. We became regular sex partners until she started dating. This is no problem for me because it was only physical, so I installed some dating apps with the intention of meeting women to have sex with. This is where things go wrong. I didn't realize how hard it is to meet women. They either stop replying, don't commit to meeting up, or they turn out to be unattractive. I've only met up with one other woman, and the experience was subpar. I'm tired of doing this and want to be monogamous again. My wife has also been seeing other men. This is fine, but I'm starting to get a little jealous. I've seen her text and she has so many men talking to her, wanting to take her out and calling her beautiful. Every night she gets dressed up and goes out, sometimes not even coming home until the morning. She says it's just sex and she loves me, but I think it's disrespectful. She didn't make that much of an effort with her appearance when it was just me. I talked to her about ending the open relationship and just being with each other, but she doesn't want to. I think what she's doing qualifies as cheating. If I knew that it was going to be like this, I wouldn't have suggested an open relationship in the first place. Am I the asshole? No, I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think anyone's the asshole in this situation. I just think you're stupid. I just think you're a moron and a sad little baby. Yeah, exactly. You should also know that's how the dating pool works. Women have more options because women are the ones who make that decision. Like, that's just how the dating pool works. Like, when men go on dating apps, they have to swipe as many people as possible because women tend to be a bit more selective, especially if you're on the dating app exclusively for hookups. Maybe don't use a dating app for that. Use a hookup app for that. If you're looking for women who just want to fuck, a dating app is generally not the place that you're going to find that. I don't think anyone sucks here. I think this is a nobody sucks category. I don't know what this is doing in Am I the Devil? Like, this is not, no one sucks in this situation. He's just dumb. Like, he's just upset about the situation he put himself in. Like, you know. No, most dating apps are not hookup apps. Every dating app I've used at any point in time to try to make friends, they're all like, not looking for hookups. Like, every single woman on there specifically says in their profile, not looking for hookups, not looking for hookups, not looking for hookups, not looking for hookups. So it's not ideal to use a dating app for hookup apps. Now, there are some that are definitely hookup apps, but not all of them are. The majority of them are not, in my experience. So... Because a lot of times women aren't on dating apps just to find sex, like a lot of men are, you know? So, if women want to find someone to have sex with, they don't really need an app to do that. So, yeah, Bumble is one that is made for, like, making friends and stuff. But, like, even, like, the Facebook dating app, like, most of the women on there are not looking for hookups. Is it Tinder? Tinder is a hookup app. That one's definitely a hookup app. So I would recommend that one if you're looking for someone to just have random sex with. I've never used that one, but that's all the only stories I've ever heard of Tinder are about people hooking up one time and then never speaking to that person ever again. So, you know, but there's so many dating apps out there now, like a stupid amount. Like, if you Google dating apps, you're going to have like 400 pages of results. Yeah, Facebook has a dating thing, so it'll find people in your area, since it already has your location data, and essentially do the same thing that any other dating app would. So, yeah, Tinder has that reputation. And then there are obviously other hookup apps if you're looking for, like, gay hookups and stuff like that. There are plenty of those. I think there's more gay hookup apps that are, like, well known to the public than there are, like, straight, for lack of a better term ones, like Tinder, which is very much geared towards straight people, or at least was. It's possible they've updated their stuff, but yeah, like Grindr. Grindr is a gay dating app, but a lot of gay men use it for hookups instead of dating. So, you know. But in my experience, scrolling the different ones I've tried, which I believe were Bumble, Facebook, and some other obscure one that I can't remember the name of, like, every woman on it was like not looking for hookups. Like, that was listed in their bio, was not looking for sex, not looking for hookups, don't want hookups, don't contact me for hookups. You know, like, it was very, like, literally 95% of the women had that in their bio. So, you know, if you want to find someone to fuck, go to a bar and flirt and then take someone home and fuck them. Like, that's just go out and about. Like, why are you looking for hookup apps? Or, I don't know, use like one of those like porn apps or something where you can hook up with people who do like sex work. Like, that's an option. As long as you don't pay them, you know, and as long as you give them cash, it's not illegal. I don't know why this one's in here. It's not that assholery. Let's just go to regular Am I the Asshole? Am I the Devil's letting me down? It's a donation towards our college fund or doctorate's degree, never a payment. Exactly. Oh yeah, I just read this one the other day. Or I was watching someone read Reddit posts. Oh, I think it was, I've been watching Smosh do Reddit posts because they've got like hour-long Reddit videos where they will cover several different Reddit posts with guests in that time period. So This was one of those, which was just a wild read, and we can absolutely read it here, if need be. Ooh, Jimmy's on Reddit too. Oh, so a Plex server. What the fuck is a Plex server? Oh, okay. The Plex server. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't have one of those. I assume that takes up quite a bit of data because it's constantly downloading stuff, right? Only if you choose something to download. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I want to read some assholes. I don't want to read the not the asshole ones. The assholes seem to be very rare, though. Okay. Let's pick out one of these, not the assholes. Let's do this one. I've seen this one before. It was in one of the videos I watched as well. Let's do this one. Am I the asshole for embarrassing my cousin and getting us kicked out of a restaurant? Huh? All right. I, female 25, don't have kids yet. I never really wanted them growing up, but I figure I'll eventually have kids in the future once I get my life together. My cousin Sarah, 29, has 2 bad-behaved kids from a previous relationship and a newborn baby with her boyfriend, MJ, who is 40. Last night, my mother, sister, Sarah, and I went to a sushi restaurant, and this was my first time having sushi. After we ordered, I had a hard time using chopsticks, and my cousin started obnoxiously laughing. The waiter came over and asked me if I wanted training wheels, which is a little plastic item that attaches to the chopsticks and helps you hold them in place. My cousin laughed and said sorry about her. She constantly embarrasses herself and us. I just gave her the side eye and put the training wheels on, but when it was time to order desserts, her boyfriend MJ finally joined us, claiming he was busy. She went on to tell him how stupid and slow I was for not knowing how to use chopsticks and how the waiter and everyone around us now know that I'm an embarrassment. The fuck kind of family do you have? Sounds like you need to teach the fuck out of these people. My mom asked her what her problem was, and she goes on a rant about how I'm so embarrassing, and it's no wonder I'm, quote, jealous of her being a mother, end quote, and, quote, no one wants to have kids with me, end quote. I finally had enough, and I said, I don't have kids because I don't want them to come out like you're rude pieces of shit. And you're calling me an embarrassment? Didn't MJ just have a baby with you on his wife? Your baby literally has a sibling a week apart from her. You probably learned how to use chopsticks by eating his wife's leftovers. Rip her apart, yes. I guess when she was attacking me, it was fine because everyone turned on me. It got so loud that management had to get involved. Sarah was screaming and crying, MJ was yelling at me, and my mom and sister were berating me for being mean. Management brought the bill and told us to please pay it and leave. My mom paid the entire bill, but my sister said that I'm the asshole for embarrassing Sarah and getting us kicked out, and how she's probably going through postpartum depression. Now, I don't know if I went too far, seeing as she's probably going through some post-baby stress. Am I the asshole? No, it sounds like this isn't uncommon behavior from her either. I doubt this is the first time she's behaved like this. If this went down the way it's described here, this sounds like fairly common behavior from this person, which means this resentment has probably been building up, even though she doesn't say that here. That's kind of the vibes I was getting. Also, if you've not had practice with chopsticks, chopsticks are fucking hard. Like, especially if you didn't grow up using chopsticks to eat food. As someone who did not grow up eating food that generally would be served and eaten with chopsticks, I struggle with chopsticks to a degree. I don't use them very often anyways because I still don't eat food that you usually would eat traditionally with chopsticks. But when I do use chopsticks, it's usually a pain in the ass and usually takes me a bit longer to eat with them because I don't have the practice. So making fun of someone who I assume we're in America doesn't know how to use chopsticks is kind of dumb and weird because our culture isn't accustomed to using chopsticks for food because we usually use like forks and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just also a weird thing to be really fucking annoying about is someone not being the best at chopsticks. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Okay, let's read this update. Thank you all for the overwhelming responses. I've been wanting to put Sarah in her place for a while now. There we are. And I'm glad I did. However, Sarah's mom got involved and is mad at me. Apparently, MJ told Sarah that him and his wife were separating. Sarah found out that he lied because she was secretly stalking his wife's Facebook page and got the shock of her life when wifey posted a newborn baby and MJ was there for the birth. Sarah did the math and realized that he got both of them pregnant the week of his birthday. She confronted him and he confirmed it. He also said that she'll have to get over it or he'll leave, so she stayed and is now constantly in shambles. Not my problem. Now on to the problem. She kept the wife's baby a secret and only told her mom, who told my mom, who told my sister and I. So they said that they were pissed because I wasn't supposed to repeat it. But I didn't know it was classified information. After like a week, that's all everyone talked about. Sarah's mom, my aunt, reached out to me this morning, and she said that Sarah's problem with me is that I always said I don't like kids, and only a horrible person wouldn't like kids, and that I was mean to her about her kids 2 months ago. 2 months ago, she wanted to go to a party with MJ and asked me to watch her kids, all 3 of them, for free. I told her no because they are untrained and I don't feel comfortable watching a newborn, and she'll have to pay me to put up with the other 2. So I guess that's why she's still holding grudges. Regardless, Sarah's mom said she was having a really hard time after finding out about the outside baby, who technically is the inside baby, as Sarah's baby is the outside baby, but whatever. And she wants me to apologize for putting her business out there for everyone. She got my mom and sister involved, and so I just called Sarah and apologized. She just said, I don't care what you have to say, and hung up. Regardless, I held up my end of the bargain. Hopefully this gets blown over soon because your girl is tired. It sounds like you need to cut some of these family members off, because not only does Sarah sound like a bitch, but also if her kids are as big of a nightmare to be around as you're saying, then that's another reason to cut her off and not spend time with her, you know? I smile to snicker level when I introduce people to using chopsticks, but I'd never call them an embarrassment. Yeah. Like, there are some people who grew up eating, like, going out and getting Chinese takeout all the time, and therefore had a lot of practice with chopsticks growing up. My family never ate food like that. We never ate food that was not American in basically every way. So the first couple times I used chopsticks, I was like, what the fuck do I do here? Because it's just not a hand movement you're used to if you've never used them before. So I think it's a weird thing to blow up about, which is what clued me into the fact that Sarah's probably a bitch a lot of the time. And it sounds like Sarah needs to get her life together. Yeah. Sarah's mad because Opie put her business out there. Sarah, you're the side chick. Go be mad at your baby daddy. Exactly. You probably learned how to use chopsticks by eating his wife's leftovers. You're my new spirit animal, not the asshole. That it was a badass line. You probably learned how to use chopsticks. Yeah, emotional damage. Indeed. Not the asshole. Asian here, you don't even eat sushi with chopsticks. It's a traditional finger food, lol. As for cousin, hopefully she'll rethink about dissing you next time. And for mom and co, depression is an excuse to shit on people. Yep. She wasn't clowning on people for using chopsticks. And I've been used to Chinese and Japanese chopsticks. I go to Korea and their chopsticks were different. My instincts were all wrong, but eventually I got it. That's not something I would have guessed. Even some older Koreans praised me for how well I handled them. Interesting. I didn't realize Korean chopsticks were different. The more you know. Okay. Yeah, I could see how them being skinnier can make things difficult. Oh, I watched this one, I think, a couple weeks ago. I think this was in the last Rolly and Lexaria podcast episode where they read Am I the Asshole stuff. Ooh, this sounds juicy. God, my throat is dry. I'm probably from all the talking, but Alrighty. Am I the asshole for telling my husband the nanny is in charge? Spicy. I want to preface this by saying that I am aware this is a very privileged issue, but I'm trying to get some perspective on my opinion. My husband and I have 3 kids that are 10 months, 3 years, and 6 years old. My husband has a high-profile job, and it means he's gone often. I work a regular 9 to 5. We originally used daycare for our oldest, but my middle was born right when the pandemic began, so we hired a nanny. She originally worked when I did, but by the time the baby came around, I was very overwhelmed doing bath and bedtime on my own, on top of developing postpartum depression. After a breakdown, we spoke with a nanny, and she agreed to adjust her hours so she's helping me with dinner, bath, and bed. We've gotten close over the past 6 months doing this, and in many ways, she's become like a third parent to the kids. She's so good with them, and we've created a routine that works well. I tend to the baby during bath and bed. She handles the older 2. It's a nice rhythm, and my mental health has gotten so much better. That's great. My husband isn't traveling all the time, but most nights he isn't even home for dinner and bed. He will help me weekends when he's home, but because he's gone so often, he's reluctant to be firm with the kids. There are times where he's come home when our nanny is there. He tries to help her with the bath and bed, but allows the boys to roughhouse, lets them break routine, and seriously throws them off and delays bedtime. My nanny shared with me that she feels awkward. Obviously, she doesn't want to undermine her employer, but it just makes her job harder. But my husband also doesn't want her to go home when he arrives, as he says he can't handle it alone. I told him if that's the case, then he needs to defer to the nanny and follow her lead. She knows our boys best, and she has to deal with the aftermath when they don't listen and give her a hard time. My husband feels that she's just an employee, and he's the dad. His salary does pay for her. However, I don't feel this is fair to her. I told him to either follow her lead for bed and bath, or he doesn't help at all. He told me I'm allowing the nanny to take over and replace him. Am I the asshole? Well, it sounds like since he's never home, someone has had to take over for him and replace him. Because he's never home. And the wife was taking care of 3 kids by herself, all of which are very young. So, yeah, you're not here, so you don't know the routine. So let the person who knows the routine take the lead, and then you're there to help. Like, that's not big brain science, you know? Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's not that complicated. Yeah, definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm so angry reading these responses. Your husband doesn't want to parent. Your husband wants to be the fun time uncle who comes in, rolls everyone up, dishes out sweets, makes sure they don't make their bedtimes, and then dips out when the children start having unpleasant reactions to the disruption. These are the asshole comments are unhinged and blatantly sexist. Dads also have to fucking parent. It is completely reasonable if the only partner doing any parenting puts their foot down on an unacceptable behavior from the partner. So I'm edit because I'm feeling salty on the OP's behalf. God, the sexism is strong here. Why does dad always get to be the fun time guy and mom always has to be the downer doing the actual parenting? This is a huge problem in society, and you're sitting here perpetuating a sexist system if it's good for children. You know what is really good for children is having a father who's an active partner in parenting. It's also completely false that children won't recognize as they grow that dad didn't give enough of a shot about them to actually be present in their lives. Didn't give enough of a shit about them, I think is what I meant to say. When they look back as adults, it's going to be mom they respect, mom who provided the safe and healthy environment for them to grow up in. Yes, I fully agree. Dad is gone all the time, so when he's home, he wants to be seen as the fun friend, not the parent. The nanny either stays as he requests and he follows her routine, or the nanny leaves and he deals with the crap part of parenting while keeping the kids on their routine. Otherwise, eventually they'll lose the nanny, and the only loser there is going to be mom having to deal with all the shit by herself when dad is gone. Exactly. So you can either learn to do it correctly, and then the nanny can go home early on nights that he comes home, or he can do what the wife said. So it's a very simple solution here. Dad can absolutely be the fun-time uncle / absent father, but he can't be mad and pull the "but I paid the nanny salary." Yeah, exactly. If he wants to be the fun-time uncle who only shows up every once in a while, he can do that. He just can't bitch and complain about it when that's all that he's relegated to. Yeah, if your husband wants to help with bedtime, then he needs to actually help with bedtime, not make it harder than it needs to be, or else he needs to do it alone and deal with the consequences of riling up the boys. Yeah. I don't think it's fair to blame the asshole comments on people without kids, because as someone without kids, I fully think she is in no way the asshole here. So, now, are there some people in here who've never ever seen a child before who are making stupid ass comments? Probably. This is Reddit. Most people on Reddit don't touch grass. So, I am one of those people. I don't really go outside. I don't really touch grass. I did touch grass today, though, because I had to walk outside to take pictures of the parking spots so that they would know where to drop off my U-Haul box on Saturday. Exactly. The only one that will remember that you weren't around are your kids and the missed birthdays and the missed events. Exactly. Like, I understand, like, single parents who have to overwork themselves in order to be able to afford to take care of their kids, but that doesn't mean that kid isn't going to notice them missing all the time. Even if they understand why the parent isn't around, they're still going to miss that. You know what I mean? They're still going to miss out on not having a parent around. Because the parent is at work all the time so that they can afford to care for the child. But when it's two parents, they're going to notice that you aren't there. And they're not going to see it as the excuse of, oh, I'm making money. Because mom's here and mom has a job. So why aren't you here? You know? When it's a single parent, kids tend to learn and understand why that single parent isn't around very often, because that single parent has 1, 2, 3 kids to pay for and has 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs to pay for it. When it's two working parents who can afford a nanny and you're not around, that's a you problem. Now, if you travel for work a lot, that's understandable, but you still need to be able to make calls to your kids every once in a while or every night even, so that they still recognize you as being in their life, even if you can't physically be there. Because it is statistically proven that kids with two parents, regardless of the sex of the parents, are better off in every capacity. In health, in education, in success, in monetary success, like, they tend to be a bit smarter. Like, in every capacity, it is better to have two parents around, or at least two people around to care for kids. So, like Cyborg in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Both his parents are doctors and scientists, but mom was the only one around for the football game. Exactly. So he still felt some type of way towards his dad. Exactly. Yeah, definitely not the asshole. All right, let's get to an asshole judgment. Now that one's right here. Oh, wait, hold on. Doggos. Yeah, none of these have been super spicy yet. We're going to read an asshole one after this, so maybe that one will be a little spicy. Seems the spiciness just hasn't been relevant lately. I'm not sure what that's about. All right. Am I the asshole for not being upset that my friend's dog could die because of me? It's a good start. I was hosting a big garden party this weekend. I invited my entire friend group plus their partners. One of my friends takes her dog everywhere. I told her no pets were allowed. Although it was a garden party, we were in and out of the home, and I have 4 cats. My cats do not like dogs, and neither do I. You don't like dogs. Okay, you're the asshole. We're done with this story. I don't trust you. Anyway, my friend showed up with her dog. I told her that her dog was not welcome in my home or the garden and asked her to please take her dog home or elsewhere. I thought my friend left. I went inside to sort some things out, and I went to my garden about 15 minutes later, and my friend was standing there in my garden talking to our friends. She doesn't live that close, so I was confused. I went to ask her how she got back so quickly, and she told me she just popped in and was going since her dog isn't welcome. I asked her where her dog is, and she shrugged her shoulders and said he was around. I went looking and found him at the bottom of the garden eating my crops and making a mess. I was angry and told my friend to get her dog off my property. A few hours later, she called me asking what her dog ate, and I had no clue. My gardener plants and attends everything. I told her I didn't know, but told her he'd made a huge mess, dug things up, and clearly eaten things. She shouted at me that her dog is sick and that I need to find out what the dog ate. I told her I had no idea, but I'd text my gardener to ask, but it was really her problem. I did send a text, but my gardener didn't answer. My friend called again, wanting to know what her dog ate, but I told her I still didn't know. She told me I obviously don't care if her dog dies and called me an asshole. I still don't know what her dog ate, but apparently he is very sick and might die. I feel bad, but I told her not to bring her dog on my property, so I don't feel responsible like she says I am. Because you're not. You're not responsible. Like, I still think you're an asshole because you don't like dogs, so I don't trust you, but you weren't the asshole in this situation. Your friend brought her dog when you told her not to. Her dog ate some of your shit, destroyed your property, and now is sick. That is on her, not on you. All right. After being unable to reach my gardener, I took pictures of everything the dog dug up, which was a lot, and sent them to my friend, but I have no idea what it ate and it just dug up versus what it just dug up, and for all I know, what it ate wasn't even pictured because the whole section is a mess. It wasn't good enough for her. She wants me to tell her exactly what it ate, and I just don't know. I don't want to spend hours trying to figure it out, and I don't even know if it can be figured out. My cats are house cats. They don't go in my garden and aren't at risk of getting sick from whatever my gardener is growing. My garden is huge, and what is growing changes often, so I don't keep track of what is planted. You have a gardener? Fucking rich. All right. Yeah, and friend not controlling the dog whilst in a party. Like, she just let her dog destroy your shit. Like, what the fuck? I blocked ex-friend after dozens of nasty calls and texts, but I got an update from a mutual friend. The dog is at the dog hospital and is pretty sick, but is expected to make a full recovery. I managed to contact my gardener eventually. It looks like the dog ate some potatoes or something. A lot was destroyed, so even my gardener isn't 100% sure what was eaten, but he thinks maybe the pesticides were the problem. All info from the gardener was passed to ex-friend. Ex-friend has seen this post and is very angry about it. Everyone say hi to Suzanne. No, you're not the asshole. What the fuck? You asked her nicely not to bring the dog, and yet she did. You asked her to leave, but yet she didn't. She wasn't even watching her dog. If the dog dies, it's on her. Exactly. The name drop. I know it, right? Say, hello, Suzanne. Yeah. That's an easy not the asshole. All right. Here's an asshole one, apparently. The Reddit has deemed this person the asshole, so let's see. Am I the asshole for being embarrassed of my girlfriend's cosplay? I, 25 male, and my girlfriend... I am a 25-year-old male. My girlfriend, 24, had a double mastectomy 5 years ago. She had breast cancer and thankfully made a full recovery. Unlike a lot of women, she didn't have any reconstructive surgery. Wow, she had breast cancer at 19? That's crazy. That's not normal. That's like usually breast cancer shows up in like your 20s and 30s, not like your late 20s, early 30s. Like you don't usually get it at 19. That's crazy. Especially bad enough to need a full double mastectomy. That's wow. This was before I met her. I'm a big anime nerd, and last weekend I invited her to a small anime con with me. She's seen a few episodes of my favorite shows, but she's not into anime. She does like cosplay, though, and she works seasonally as an SFX artist at a haunted house near us. So when I asked her to go to the con with me, she asked if she could cosplay, and I said sure. She got very excited and said I was going to love her costume, so I'll admit I thought she was going to do something sexy for me. Well, not exactly. The day of the convention comes, and she showed up at my house cosplaying Dabi from MHA, specifically a look he has later in the manga. It's a long white coat over... Let's just Google it. Oh, okay. This dude. Oh, that would make a cool cosplay. I've not watched My Hero Academia yet. It took me a second to realize what MHA stood for, so it's on the list, but I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, that seems like a pretty simple cosplay. The white one from later in the manga, so this one I assume. A long white coat over white pants, so I assume this look, because this is very much not a white coat over white pants. Interesting. There's a lot of good cosplays in anime because everyone wears very identifiable clothing for the most part, especially in a lot of the animes like this one. A lot of the clothes are very specific to the character, so it makes cosplaying them a lot easier. But okay, yeah, we get the idea. All right. Specifically, a look he has later in the manga. It's a long white coat over white pants, no shirt. Her entire chest was exposed, and she'd obviously spent hours applying burn makeup. She has short hair that she dyes constantly. This time, she bleached it white and dyed a few red streaks. That's super fucking cool. I wasn't expecting her to show up without a shirt. Her burn scar makeup only covered half her chest, so you could clearly see her mastectomy scar. It wasn't a very attractive costume, especially since she'd gone all out with all the scars and made them look raised and kind of realistic. She's cosplaying this fucker. What do you mean? You want her to show up sexy? Like, she's cosplaying this dude. Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, you're an asshole. I've not even finished the fucking post yet. I should have known when he mentioned her double mastectomy off the bat that was going to be a factor into it. I want to know. I want to see her cosplay. Like, that sounds super fucking cool. I want to see what she looks like. Show us photos, OP. I want to see this fabulous cosplay that she clearly spent so much fucking time on to make you happy, since it seems this is something you are into. We went to the con, and while a lot of people came up to take photos with her, I noticed several others looking at her chest. I mean, yeah, she's a girl with her titties out, except she doesn't have titties, so it's gonna throw the brain off. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. Whether she's in cosplay or not, that makes sense. She's clearly a woman. I'm sure she still very much looks like a woman in the face, so people are gonna see her without a shirt covering her chest and be a little confused at first, notice she's missing her titties, and then move on with their fucking lives. Like, that's how that works. She probably knew that was a risk when she showed up without a fucking shirt on. Like, what? Clearly it doesn't bother her, so why the fuck does it bother you? Plus, clearly her cosplay was cool as shit because people were coming over to take pictures with her. Like, I noticed several others looking at her chest. That evening, she said, I'd been quiet all day, and I honestly told her I was a little embarrassed that she was flaunting her mastectomy scar like that. She got mad and said she was making the best of her situation, and said I was being insensitive, and she's been distant ever since. I'm starting to feel guilty. Am I the asshole? Yes! Yes, you're the asshole. Jesus fucking Christ. You're such an ass. Be civil. Absolutely not. He's a cunt. How dare your girlfriend not have a pretty little cosplay outfit? Yeah, did you want her to show up with fake anime titties? Like, what did you expect her? You know she doesn't have breasts. What did you expect her to show up as? Like the sexy, like, big titty wasp lady from fucking One Punch? Like, what did you expect her to do? Like, most people that see her cosplay would be staring at her chest before realizing she's a female, probably thinking how realistic the scars look. That too, plus the mastectomy scar could even add to the realism of it. Like, exactly. Yeah, you're the asshole. Jesus Christ. You're the asshole. Jesus, she went through cancer and a double mastectomy, and you're crying out about being embarrassed. Please break up with her so she can find someone that's not an asshole. Yeah. Yeah, not only did she go through all that, she did it at fucking 19. She's barely even a woman before she had to have her womanhood ripped from her. Like, and she's clearly embracing her body as it is, which is fucking wonderful. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about shit like that. And you're making her feel bad about shit like that. You are, like, the biggest asshole that we have read in a while. Like, not just today, but, like, in a while. Guys are always assuming women are going to be doing sexy cosplay for them. Your girlfriend did something scary and brave for herself. Your reaction is disgusting. You are the asshole. Yeah. It's a very weird thing to assume that she would do something sexy for him. You're going to an anime con. She can dress up as whatever the fuck she feels like. Okay. You're the asshole, and you know what? I'm going to do bullet points for you. So, a list of things that make you the asshole. Expecting your girlfriend to cover her scars. Expecting your girlfriend to dress as a woman. Expecting your girlfriend to be doing a hobby that she enjoys. She didn't dress up as a woman. She dressed up as a male character. So, yeah, I don't know why people needed that clarified. She went dressed as a dude. If anyone had looked him up, had looked up the character, or knows the character's a dude. So, you know. I haven't looked up how that would look like. So, through the cosplay, I personally wouldn't even know how those scars would look. So, yeah, I'm the guy staring, not to be creepy, but just curious. Exactly. Especially if it's not a character you know, you're going to see someone with their chest out, and they've got a bunch of burn scars and marks on them. You're going to be like, whoa. Especially if you don't know the character, you may not know that that's part of the character. I don't know if it is. We didn't see any without a shirt off, so I don't know if that... I assume it is. Otherwise, why would she do that, you know? Expecting your girlfriend to be doing a hobby that she enjoys for your sexual gratification. Expecting your girlfriend to be sad and mopey about her situation and not make the best of something. Probably, based on how you've spoken, expecting your girlfriend to be traditionally feminine in a way that caters to your sexual interests. Your girlfriend is seemingly a very fun and creative person who put time and effort into doing something cool and fun to interact with your hobby and find a meeting point between your interests. It's a very thoughtful thing of her to do, and she clearly is very talented and was excited for you to see her costume. Because she expected you to think that her craftsmanship was amazing based on the con's reaction, I'd say it probably was. You don't seem to appreciate her for the person that she is and expect a lot out of her in a very superficial way. Grow up. It is an incredibly childish way to feel about the entire thing. Maybe you're not meant for her if you can't handle her just being a person outside of the traditional femininity that you find attractive. Exactly. My exact thoughts summed up perfect. She does. She sounds like a fucking badass. Yeah. Yeah. And clearly, if this is bothering him now, like, this is probably, her scars probably don't just bother him in this situation. You know? Like, if he didn't care about her scars, he wouldn't care what other people think about her scars. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So, I don't think her mastectomy scars in this situation, like, I don't think this is the only situation where it bothers him. So, that's a red flag as well. That he can't seem to handle that. So, hello, Christian. I should still be here when you get home from work. I've still got another hour or so left today. So, assuming your commute's not stupidly long like mine is. Yeah, she sounds fucking badass, and I don't know where she's at, but if she wants a buddy, she should hit me up. Looking for someone who won't judge her for being a fucking badass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. He wasn't concerned that people were seeing her naked chest. He was concerned that people were seeing her mastectomy scars. Like, but even so, even if it was her naked chest, she chose to show up with a naked chest. It's her chest. She's allowed to show it off if she wants to, whether you're dating her or not. You don't own her, so she can still. If she had titties and had her titties out at the con in a non-public indecency way, you know what I mean? Like, let's say she still had her tits and she walked around in like a titty anime lady costume, a sexy costume as he would call it, but she basically had her tits out. You're not allowed to be offended. Like, that's her body. She can do with it what she wants. Same situation here. If she wants to walk around in a cosplay that shows her mastectomy scars, she should be fucking allowed to do that. It's her body, and she's earned the right to be shirtless in public by having her titties chopped off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one bright side to the only bright side getting mastectomy when you're a woman, is that you get to walk around without a shirt on in public now, and you're not allowed to get arrested for it. Like, stop being a cunt, basically. Like, let her live her life. She's clearly enjoying herself. Why would you ruin that for her, you know? Ooh, a short one. Okay. My ex-girlfriend, Claire, 35, female, got pregnant while we were dating. Although she told me she just wanted to be friends, I was ready to be a father. However, she met someone else, Becca, who didn't want me around, so they asked me to cancel my paternal rights. At the time, I was torn because I wanted to be there for my child, but I also felt that if they didn't want me around, it was best to waive my rights. After fighting for a while, I eventually gave up because it was clear that they didn't want me to be there. Fast forward 13 years, Claire and Becca are going through some stuff, and they want me to pay child support. However, the court has already ruled that since I waived my paternal rights, I'm not legally obligated to pay for child support. Despite this, Claire is calling me a bastard and a deadbeat. Yeah, no, you're not an asshole. I'm not finishing that. They didn't want you to be part of it, so you're not part of it. Yeah, fuck you, Claire, basically, yeah. Ooh. Tea. All right. Let's get some water. My throat's dry. Jimmy, you having a good time researching over there? You haven't said anything in chat in a while, so I assume you're busy tippy-tapping over there on the keyboard, researching stuff. That or you're back at Zelda, one of the two. Are you drowning in open tabs? Does Google Chrome do the tab grouping thing? No, it doesn't. I know, I hate it too. Google Chrome does. I love the tab grouping thing. Let's see, let's make sure my address isn't going to be doxed if I drag this over here. Okay, it's not. So I have my moving stuff in a separate tab, so if I want to collapse it, I can. Then I have better access to the other ones. I fucking love it. I've been using it more lately with all the moving stuff because I'll have so many fucking tabs open just for moving, and if I'm not actively looking into moving stuff, I don't need all those tabs open, which can make it hard to access my other tabs that I am using. So I hadn't really used it before I started doing moving stuff, but that's a lot of tabs that I have open that I don't always need fully open, you know? So I've been using it a lot lately. Yeah, I wish I could just go on and get Google, but they're not available in my building yet, and the building owners have to give permission to Google for them to install the stuff they need to install, which I'm going to talk to my landlord about once I move there, and say, like, a condition of me staying here an extra year is I would really like to have access to this type of internet. Otherwise, I'll find an apartment where Google Fiber does work, because I really don't want to have to deal with the monopoly. If the monopoly was a Google monopoly, I'd be more willing to do it, because even if it was expensive, if it was Google, at least it would be good quality expensive. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I've noticed about like Amazon and Google is a lot of times like their specific monopolies are high quality. Like, they don't put out bullshit a lot of the time. Like, some of the Amazon basic stuff isn't very good, but it's also cheap. So they're not charging you like $500 for a cheap ass keyboard. You know, they're going to charge you $20 for a cheap ass keyboard that they made, you know? So I kind of appreciate it when those types of monopolies don't overcharge you for stuff, because they don't need to, because they have so much money. Whereas companies like the monopoly internet providers that we have here in this stupid fucking country will charge obscene prices and then require you to buy specific items on top of the price for the internet, and then also limit how much internet you can use, and while also not even giving you a internet that is high speed enough to do what you need it to do, you know. Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, as long as the modem is under $150, like as long as the gateway is under 150, it'll end up saving me money to just buy it instead of paying them for one, because it's $14 a month to pay them for one. Yeah, when we paid for it through Xfinity, they didn't make us pay for the modem. I just went and picked it up. It's just built into the cost. It's not extra. The gateway, whatever, does both. Our router does both. It both does Ethernet and Wi-Fi. So, but we just got it from Xfinity, and they didn't charge us any extra for it. If they did, it was built into the price that we were already paying them. So, you know, I don't know why most places why they aren't doing that. Under 150 would be ideal, since it looks like under 100 isn't going to be doable. If you find one that's under 100, that'd be ideal. I'm also willing to buy ones that are used but in good condition, as long as if it makes it a little cheaper. But yes, exactly. If there's anything good I can say about Xfinity, there's no extra fee for the gateway. The only downside I've found about Xfinity here, since we've been in Nashville, is it will occasionally go out for no reason, but it's not usually out for very long when it does go out for no reason, so it's not really that big of an issue. So I've not really had too many issues with them here, which is why I was like, oh, maybe they will have a couple buildings that they do work at in Nebraska, but no. So stupid, annoying shit. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the 1 gig one is $100 a month, and I just don't feel like paying that. So that's too much. That's too much. Especially since the upload speed isn't any faster. If the upload speed were faster on the 1 gigabyte plan, I would consider it. But it's the highest they will go on upload speed is 10 megabits. So I'm not paying you $100 a month when I could be paying you, because I'm not going to use a gigabyte. I don't need a gigabyte per second for download speed. I don't need that. I get by just fine with what we have here, which is under 300. So, you know, So I'm not going to pay them extra money for the same upload speed. So that's why I'm going with the 500. Is it Xfinity Comcast? I'm trying to remember what I had in high school other than AT&T. I think it's Xfinity Comcast. Yeah, I believe they're the same company. Comcast Cable Communications is Xfinity, yes. Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that a comment she made is exactly why her marriage crashed and burned? T. My sister has been staying with my husband and I, men in our late 20s, for the last week and some change. Ooh, gays. And she and her husband have initiated the divorce process, and she says she doesn't want to stay alone right now, which I completely understand. It would be very hard to go from living with a partner to a completely silent house. I know, I'm about to do it, and it's going to fucking suck. It's going to be so quiet in the apartment. I'm going to have to constantly have my Google Home playing, like, music or something. Honestly, I probably don't need 300 megabits per second. I get by in some deployments on 4, paying $80 for said 4. Yeah, I would pay for the 250, but I get better than that here, and I don't want to risk having it too low since I do stream. Even though that's outgoing information, I do stream in a lot of stuff. So like I watch a lot of Netflix, I watch a lot of YouTube, I watch a lot of Crunchyroll. So I need that download speed, and I don't want to risk it not being enough, you know. And it's only like $20 extra a month more for the 500 versus the 250. It's not as big of a price jump for those two. Where it's a $30 price jump to get up to the 1 gigabyte. So, and like I said, it's not a faster upload speed either. Or not a fast enough upload speed. It is a faster upload speed, but not a fast enough upload speed to really be different. Because the 500 plan has a 10 megabytes per second upload speed, and the 1 gigabyte plan has an up to 35 megabytes per second upload speed, which still isn't very high. So, you know, and I already know how the under 10 works because that's what I have right now. So, you know, those 25 aren't really going to make that big of a difference. So, you know, yes. Yeah. See, I can download games really fast. Stuff downloads, like I download YouTube videos to my phone pretty often, although I won't be doing that as much since my drives to work aren't going to be as long, so I won't really need to download as often in Omaha, because right now I download videos to watch while I'm driving my commute to work. Usually it's a podcast episode from whatever podcast has posted that week and stuff like that. But those download pretty much instantaneously, which is beautiful and lovely and amazing. So I know I don't need the gigabyte per second upload speed, or download speed, I mean. It'd be nice to have the gigabyte per second upload speed, though, because I upload my VODs to YouTube after we stream, which are usually pretty big files. So, yeah. It's YouTube Premium. I pay for Premium, so, because I use it a lot. I don't like ads, and I love the download feature. Also, you get access to beta tested stuff. You're part of the beta test group, so when they put out a new feature, you can opt in or out to being a part of that feature. They recently added the queue feature to mobile devices, where you can queue up videos in order instead of having to add them to a playlist. And I fucking love it. So I love having access to that. My favorite part is that you can opt out of being part of the guinea pig test. So if you don't want to be part of it, you can opt out of it, which is beautiful. So you're not forced to be like part of the shittier version of YouTube if they put out a bad feature, for example, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah, if I was just using PC, I wouldn't be too concerned about it because I don't ever download stuff to my computer. But I download like I said, I download hour-long videos and stuff to my phone all the time to watch while I drive to work. So, and for travel as well. Death and dying. Ugh. I don't know how to drink water, apparently. Yeah. And since the only way I'm going to be able to visit people that I know from right now or earlier is to be flying there, since I'm going to be living so far away, that download feature will still continue to serve me well. Death and dying. Water went down the wrong hole. Jesus. All right. All right. I opened our home to her before I found out why her marriage didn't work out. Now that the two of us have had multiple conversations about it, I'm a little uncomfortable. There was no... Jesus. There was no infidelity. There was no big scandal. What she told me is that her husband wasn't having enough sex with her. Oh my god. I turned the mic off so I could cough really heavily and get this over with, but it's not working. Okay. I think we're good now. I have Apple Music, so I don't use Pandora or Spotify. And my mom pays for it, so she pays for the family plan. If she ever stops paying for that, I'm going to be so sad. Jesus. Do I need more water to clear it out? What the fuck's going on? Maybe that'll help. Nope, it didn't help. I can still feel it sitting in there. I just hydrated. Fuck off. Fuck off. Okay. It's fine. All right. The things she has been saying have floored me. She says without sex, the two of them were basically just like roommates. She said she had been pushing for him to get a hormone imbalance test done because while they were still having sex, it wasn't enough. She said he had begun resisting even normal touches from her because, from his perspective, all she thought about was sex, which apparently isn't true. I'm not sure I believe that. I can elaborate in the comments, but overall, it just left me feeling sad for her ex, and the disrespect of saying sex is the only thing that separates a partner from a roommate, not even a friend. It's like stuck right here, and I can feel it when I talk. Suffering. All right. I've done my best to be supportive, but I can't relate to the thought process at all. If my partner told me tomorrow that he wasn't up for sex for the next few weeks, months, or longer, I would just take care of myself and respect that. Yeah, go fucking masturbate like a normal fucking person. Jesus Christ. I love him, and I want him to be the person I do life with forever. This all came to a head last night. My husband and I were having a typical lazy Saturday night, catching up with some shows and chatting while we lounged on the couch. His legs were in my lap, and I was kind of absent-mindedly massaging his feet and rubbing his ankles. This was an innocent gesture. My sister came in and saw me doing it and made a joke along the lines of, OP, I didn't know you were into feet, or I didn't know you had a foot fetish. The exact wording escapes me. I couldn't help but feel put off at her sexualizing the gesture. Intimacy can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. I told her so, and then she said, referring to her voice, you sexualizing every interaction is why you're in the situation you're in now. She called me a dick and left the room. I already know it was a little harsh, but I'm unsure if it was tough love or too much. He didn't tell me how old the sister was, so I'd be interested to know how old the sister was. Not the asshole. That's a weird thing to say to your sibling, and thinking every time you touch your partner, it has to be for sexual reasons and screwed up. You probably could have been nicer, but that's a weird thing to say. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I mean, if sex is the only thing that separates a romantic relationship from a non-romantic relationship, from like a roommate relationship, for her, then I think that her priorities are already wrong. And I'm trying to speak to this from outside of my asexual perspective, because obviously sex doesn't matter to me at all. So I'm very much on the opposite side of the spectrum for her. Now, sex being a very important thing in your relationship makes sense, but it being the only thing that makes your relationship a romantic relationship is not how that works. Because like, maybe she's aromantic and doesn't know it. So romance isn't really a thing that she understands or does. But sex is very much a thing she enjoys and likes a lot of. And there are definitely people out there who can satisfy that need for her and are the same way. But the fact that that's where her brain goes when she walks in and sees someone getting a foot massage is weird. Especially when that person giving the foot massage is her brother. That's really bizarre. And at least in my opinion, it's very weird. It's a weird thing to say to your sibling. But, you know, yeah. I mean, if the foot thing was a joke, she could have clarified that. But also, the fact that the relationship with her partner ended because she wasn't getting enough sex, and then she makes a sexual joke about her brother, it seems a little weird. Without the context of why the relationship ended, you know. Okay. I'm gonna read both of these, even if I don't know if I agree with this comment or not, because I've not read the whole thing. But I just thought that the story was going somewhere else. Yeah. You're a bit of the asshole. It really disturbs me that there are people who think sex isn't important in a relationship, because for a majority of couples, it is a very important aspect. Everyone is the asshole because I think a lot of people are misunderstanding me. When I say that sex is important, I don't mean that it should be the priority. I mean, whether you want little sex or a lot of sex or no sex at all, sex is important and important to be discussed between partners. If sex is one of her love languages, not being able to express that openly with the person who is supposed to love and support her can be a disseminating rejection. Even if he's not even willing to touch her, that's a problem. If she's to the point where she just wants him to go to the where she wants him to go to the doctor, there's a bigger issue. This does not sound like a case where she's hypersexual. It sounds like she's feeling neglected and rejected by her husband. It sounds like she has a healthy sex drive, and there's something potentially wrong with her husband, whether that be hormones, mental health, or an affair. Especially if this is a drastic change from normal. If he's refusing to even find out if there is a medical issue, then yes, the issue is him. Stop slut-shaming your sister for wanting her relationship to be healthy. Okay, I want to read the response. I regret agreeing to help now. I think the best bet is to just buy one on their list of approved gateways. If Wi-Fi is included, then great. But it may be cheaper to just buy one without Wi-Fi and they get a Wi-Fi access point. How much are Wi-Fi access points? That's the good question. Hello? Max, was that you? Or did that come from outside? Was that you who said something?
What did you say?
Did you just make a oh no sound?
Yes, I did. All my Word documents closed.
Oh, I couldn't tell which direction it come from, because sometimes the people out there are loud enough that I can hear them, so it was very distant, so I couldn't tell where it came from.
No, it was me. Yeah, all my Word documents closed, and I had a lot of them open.
Yikes.
That keeps happening lately. It's very annoying. Like, I've got...
Like your computer just decides that you're not allowed to do Word anymore?
Yeah, it'll just close all of my Microsoft programs. Just randomly.
Save often.
Yeah. Well, everything autosaves unless it's like on your desktop. But most of the time I'm working on SharePoint and everything autosaves periodically. But I do try to manually save frequently.
Well, Jimmy, if you can look up Wi-Fi access points, find me a good one, and then I'll do both. A good cheap one, like $40 or less, and then I can get one of the ones from them that doesn't have Wi-Fi with it.
What was that router thingy that we bought on Amazon when I lived with Kitty?
Yeah, I think I've thrown it out at some point. I don't think we have it anymore.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't remember the function that it served.
I can't remember either. It would be in that top drawer if I still had it. Is it in there?
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here.
It'd be really obvious if it was in there.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, then it's not. Then I don't have it anymore. Yeah. Because we can probably get close to $100 if I buy one of these ones that doesn't have Wi-Fi built in. and then buy a separate Wi-Fi port. So that would still be saving me quite a bit of money because it's going to cost me $180 a year for the year if I buy a router from them directly.
I don't know what this is. There's one.
It's a light. Why are you looking in there? Good luck getting that zip back up. The zipper's broken.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I got this.
Nope. Shit's falling out.
I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
That's what you get for digging through my shit.
I didn't know. You asked me to dig through your shit.
I didn't ask you to open anything.
Well, you know what? It happened. Motherfucker.
Yeah, there's like fuzzes and stuff along the zipper area that I can't get to come off, so it just makes zipping it up a pain in the ass. Did you get it?
Yep.
Take some finagling.
Mm-hmm. You just gotta be patient. Stuck on the other corner.
Because I just searched Wi-Fi access point on Amazon, and I'm finding stuff that's in $30 range, so $30 to $40.
There we go.
What?
I forgot you had the PP trans right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking to buy that thing that's in front of your head right there.
This thing?
Yeah, I'm looking to buy one of those because to get one from Cox is going to cost me an extra $14 a month on top of my normal internet thing. But you can buy one that's on their list of approved ones, and it would be cheaper.
I see.
But the problem is the ones that have both Wi-Fi and Ethernet are crazy expensive. So, I think I'm just going to buy one that just has Ethernet and then get a separate Wi-Fi
Just
thing.
has Ethernet.
Yes, and then you can get a separate Wi-Fi port that
Are
you can plug in.
plugged into Ethernet?
Yes.
Okay.
So are you. That's how you have access to the internet.
But one doesn't need to be plugged into Ethernet, so I didn't know if you
It's
were.
the fastest way to get internet.
It's apparently fast, but
Yeah.
I've never noticed a difference.
Yeah, it is well, because we have good Wi-Fi. If you have shit Wi-Fi, Ethernet is the best way to get internet. But,
So
our
when you
phones all
told
use
me-
Wi-Fi, so.
When you first told me that you used Ethernet, I was like, "Are you 30 years old?" Like,
Tell Max that Ethernet is better, Jimmy.
Ethernet is like the 80s. That's not like how anything works anymore. You
It
don't
is.
have to plug into the wall to get internet.
If you want good internet in this shitty-ass country with our shitty-ass monopolies, you gotta plug into the wall.
Plugging in a cord to get the internet
Mm-hmm.
is like only using corded phones because that's the only way to.
It is
call
if you want
someone.
ultimate speed, Jimmy said.
Insane.
Wired connection is still faster than Wi-Fi.
I will not be using Ethernet.
You're using it right now.
I said when I move.
Oh, okay. Your computer is plugged into it at this very moment.
I'm aware.
I worked very hard to wire the cable all the way over to your computer from in here without it being in the way. So.
You're gonna have to help me take it down because I'm afraid that tape's gonna destroy the wall.
Yeah, no, I'm taking it down. Yeah, it's because the cable's coming with me, so I'm taking it down.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's a long ass
You're
cable.
really
I'm
not
gonna need
possessed
it.
of that cable.
I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need the long ass cable if I'm gonna plug my TV into the computer, or not my TV into the computer, my computer into the thing.
Okay, I was like, you're gonna plug your TV into the Ethernet?
No.
What
No.
century?
The TV's plugging into the computer. The computer's gonna plug into the Ethernet, but I don't know where the Ethernet's gonna have to sit because I don't know where the wall port is. Like, because regardless, it has to plug into the wall, even if it's Wi-Fi. So because it has to get service from somewhere. So. I don't know what any of that means. Do you know what any of that means? Because Jimmy will say stuff that I'm sure makes sense, but I don't know what it means. That's why I was like, oh, Jimmy will be here. Jimmy can help me search for one of these, because I don't know what all this shit means.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Because it makes sense to you?
That makes sense.
Sure.
It does.
Sure it does.
Stuff interferes with Wi-Fi, so if you plug in, it doesn't.
Yeah. Like
That's what he
Jarek
said.
Jarek and his concrete compound that he was talking about earlier. Jarek mentioned that he has bad internet in some places because he has really good internet, but then he'll walk 2 concrete rooms away and now he doesn't have internet anymore. So
I thought Germany had like a normal ass base.
mm.
I don't know. Maybe wherever he works is concrete.
I don't remember if it was Germany specifically, so I don't
Okay.
I don't remember where he was talking about specifically. I just remember him talking about how the concrete fucks with the Wi-Fi, which if you've ever been in an elevator, you've noticed. So
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is shit in both stairwells and elevators. Because concrete. The TP link EAP223. $60.
A rip. So your bedroom is made of concrete?
Ah.
I'd be so sad if I couldn't watch a high quality YouTube video in my bedroom.
Will this do the job, Jimmy? Will this do the task? Because he'll know what the words mean. Because I don't know what the words mean. It's a desktop access point, but I don't know what the desktop. It's a wireless desktop access point. Is it just called desktop because it can sit on your desk? It can sit on top of your desk.
Well, scroll down and look at further description.
Well, I'll have him do that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to read. That's what I'm doing. I'm reading Am I the Asshole? 1,000 square feet. That's perfect. I've got a 700 square foot apartment. And it's Netgear, which is I have experience with Netgear because that's what we use in my parents' house. It also has Ethernet ports, so I can probably plug my actual modem into this, and then this has Wi-Fi. But I don't know if this also does what the modem is supposed to do. So
Interesting.
that's a good device. Okay, good. It's cheap. I'll add it to my cart. Fuck off, honey. Fuck off. Okay. And then I'd have to buy one of the ones off the list. I had to buy one of the ones off the list. It has to be ultimate, and since I'm going to buy the Wi-Fi thing, it can say no, which makes it cheaper.
So, okay, so you have to buy, are these plans that you're looking at? Or?
No, these are just modems that will work with the internet plan I am looking to buy.
So you have to get a modem and the thing? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying. Why do you need a modem and that?
Because the modems that have built-in Wi-Fi are crazy expensive.
Okay.
But the modems without Wi-Fi are far more affordable.
What's the purpose of a modem if it doesn't create the internet?
It has Ethernet.
Okay. So
It brings the internet into your home. It just doesn't spread it like Wi-Fi through the air.
Okay. So it's a box, and you like.
I don't know why they have both. I don't know why it doesn't all. I don't know why they don't all do both. I think it's stupid.
I'm just trying to understand.
I don't understand it either. So you're asking the wrong person. Ask Jimmy.
So you have to buy the modem from them.
Yes.
You can't.
Well, this isn't from them. I just had to buy one that's on this list.
Okay.
Because otherwise they won't send me internet.
So you have to have a modem for them to give you internet.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm understanding.
Yes. We can't have internet if that box isn't in here.
Right.
Yeah, it converts all your devices into one internet-facing IP address, which is how they give you internet, is through the IP address.
Clearly, I know a lot about the internet.
Yes, so do I. That's why Jimmy is here.
I grew up with very little access to the internet, so I don't really know a lot about this stuff.
I also know very little, but I still know more than you, but that's still very little, so.
I didn't have consistent access to an internet device until I was like, I don't know, like 9 or something.
It's 420.
It was a family shared device. I didn't have access to my own personal device that accessed the internet until I was like 14. So.
A gateway gives you extra features inside your house. I think the first one I looked at was a good price, and then I realized it didn't have Wi-Fi with it, and I was like, sad. 3.0. It's a 3.0, right? Yes, it is a 3.0. Yeah. The first one, this one is a good price. So then together it's only $90. And
I was wondering why you weren't showing this, and then I saw that it shows our zip code.
Yeah, it automatically does on Amazon, so that's why I never pull up Amazon. But when I send Jimmy the link, it opens it in his own Amazon, so he can't dox me either.
Nice. I don't think Jimmy would dox.
Although he could probably easily access my computer from wherever he's at. I've shown my IP address on screen before.
I feel like that's worse.
Probably. It's gonna change in a week anyways. I know I have at some point. I've also doxed myself in terms of my email a couple times by accident, because sometimes you'll click into a website and it'll be like, do you want to log in with this email or this email? And I'm like, I'm on stream. You can't do that.
I mean, I've said enough about myself that Jimmy was able to find me on LinkedIn. So.
Yeah, we've also listed the city we live in, so.
Yeah.
And the city I'm moving to.
At one time, I can't recall if it's possible for random people viewing your LinkedIn profile to access the resumes that you have uploaded. I don't think it is, but if it is, he could have easily found our home address.
I mean, no one gives enough of it. He lives too far away to come and murder us.
So I figured it was fine, because I think the only purpose of uploading that is so that you can quick apply. So.
Yeah, we've given so much information about where we live already.
I'm not concerned.
Rent prices, city, where we work, or at least where I work, how far away my work is from where I live.
There's no gain in me being doxxed.
No, me neither.
I'm not famous. I don't have a lot of money.
I'm clearly so famous. I have 4 viewers.
Even if I was, swatted, it wouldn't get on the news.
The Kroger that's close to where I live, yeah. The Kroger that's down the street, yeah.
Have you doxed that?
I've said I work at a Kroger that's not even 10 minutes away. Yeah. So that you can just find all the Krogers in Nashville, 10-mile radius, and I'm in one of those.
Well, the other Kroger is roughly the same distance, so...
Yeah, 10-mile radius.
Yeah.
I assume 10 miles, because it's a 10-minute drive, so...
Mm-hmm. I would imagine it's less.
Yeah, probably.
But who could say?
Most likely.
This will only be your residence for another, 5 days or something, so...
Yep. This time next week, I will hopefully be streaming in Omaha.
Woo.
I'm just so ready for it to be over. I love you. I do, with all my heart. I'm so ready for this to be over. I'm so ready to just get it done.
So I don't have to not be around me anymore.
I'm so ready to not have to think about not being around you anymore. It'll just be happening. I don't have to think about it and dread it and think about the move, and it'll just be done, and I won't have to think about it anymore.
Have you doxed your new address yet?
No, but they know I live in Omaha, so...
I mean, Omaha is...
I live in Omaha with a good landlord. That narrows it down pretty aggressively. You just look at Omaha apartments and then find the ones that are like, oh, I love the landlord here, and then the management here is great, and you found me, so... Having a good landlord really narrows it down, because that doesn't happen very often.
Have you mentioned your rent price?
Yes.
That would also be helpful.
Mm-hmm. I don't care if they know where I live. There's 4 people here. What are they going to do? Come kill me? Go ahead. I don't care. You don't know my social security number, so you can't steal my identity. That's really the only thing.
Yeah, there's truly nothing to gain from doxing either of us.
No, I'm not famous enough. I'm not even famous at all.
We don't own substantial property or valuables or, have a substantial amount of money or...
No,
would it
especially
be
not me.
entertaining for us to be swatted, so, Particularly for me, I'm about to live nowhere near a camera.
Windy in Omaha. Then again, I went through in the winter in January. I was lucky running away from a snowstorm. I don't know your rent price. I probably forgot it if you did say it. Well, it varies. The rent price itself is a different number than what I will end up paying because of utilities and stuff. So, because utilities aren't included. Mm-hmm. Although they do recycling, and I need to figure out how that works. If I have to separate it myself, or if I just throw all the recyclables in a bag and then they come separated. Mm-hmm. I need to figure out how that works. But my landlord won't be there the week I move in, so
They were able to quote me prices for everything except for water and electricity, but they were able to quote me. It's not working. What are you typing? Oh, you're typing over there. Okay.
Yeah, stop trying to tell me what to do.
Sorry, I thought you were trying to type somewhere else.
No.
But they were able to quote me a price for everything, so I know roughly how much it will cost me, but, yeah.
Yep, the one I sent you is, it's a 32 by 8.
Even if I said, you know, I live in Richmond, Virginia, I live near the middle of the city, even if I quoted my rent price, it wouldn't be possible to find it because mine was the only unit listed at that price.
It may be easier for me to find out more about Max given their military background. I'm sure your dad's records are still in there somewhere.
It's possible, but he retired in 2008 and he left civilian work in 2010, so the trail goes cold.
Yeah, but you just narrowed it down. He can find all the people who retired in 2008.
But he doesn't know my dad's name.
Yeah, but he knows your name.
My last name. Does he know my last name?
You've said it before.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he knows it,
name,
but you've said it before.
That doesn't really help. And we're not gonna.
Dox your father, Max. Dox him.
He was in the army for like 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he worked HR.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the army for 25
I love that we both
years.
have a parent in HR.
He worked
Look
HR.
at that.
He was a lieutenant colonel when he retired.
We both have parents who worked or work for HR for a government organization.
Yours is less impressive, though.
Well, mine doesn't have PTSD, so...
Yeah.
Is it less impressive?
I would prefer that.
Mine is a functional human being, so I think mine's on the better off. Because mine didn't decide to go to war. So... Internal records hunt.
Well, none of the people in my family live in the location wherein my father was last employed by the U.S. government, so one could.
Oh yeah,
because
because y'all moved after he retired. So
yes, yeah. So even if Jarek could find the last place that we lived, like approximate to the last base that we were at, he wouldn't be able to find any of us.
Except you, because we currently live at.
If I had the access to those kind of resources, better bet I'd be stalking people. I mean, I'd probably get like court-martialed or whatever for it if it wasn't related to my job, but God, would I do it.
Speaking of your job.
I know I need to be doing it. But I don't like right now I'm in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
So
And your meeting's at 8?
Yes.
Okay.
It's at 8.
And we got Trevor Noah to watch tonight.
Yeah. My coworker, I asked 3 days ago if she would help me, the one that I'm meeting with tonight. I asked 3 days ago if she would cover for me while I'm gone. And she was like, we can meet about it. That'd be great. And then this morning she emailed me and said no. But didn't cancel the meeting. So...
Did you email her back and go, so do we need the meeting, or...?
Well, she's in the Philippines and she was already off work at that time. So I emailed her back and I was like, hey, I'd love to discuss your concerns at our call this evening. So we're going to do that.
Given my logistical background, I would have access to all of the household goods moves that your father has done throughout his career.
He's lived in a lot of places.
But he can find the last place. Did they send out more? No, they didn't. Okay, good. I thought they sent out more shifts. I'm like, stop tempting me with money. Stop it. They keep sending out 6-hour shifts, and I'm like, no, I have to pack. Like, none of the shit that's in here would be done if I'd picked up the shift last night. So, as great as the money would be. Oh, I can't wait to see that paycheck tonight, Max. It better be like $1,000. Otherwise, I'm going to be so sad because I got to drop another $200 today.
And even if Jarek found...
Yeah, maybe Jared can find the missing furniture y'all lost all those years ago. The missing tabletop.
God, I wish. That happens every time.
Was it the
that's
tabletop?
Like a commonality.
Yeah.
Yeah, we...
Specifically the top of the table.
We got someone else's tabletop. We got the bottom of the table, but we got someone else's tabletop. That happened quite frequently. Because, like, what the military does is they'll, like, have full-service movers come to your residence, pack all your stuff up in a truck, and then they'll take it back to a central location and then ship it from there. So your stuff can get intermingled with other people's stuff when they take it back to the central location.
That's dumb. Why don't they just load it all into like a U-Haul box?
Boy, oh boy, I don't know.
Just load all your shit into one pod and then ship the pod.
It's less iffy when you're not moving overseas.
Yeah, if you're not moving overseas, then...
That happened when we came back from overseas, that we lost the tabletop.
Your military bride is showing.
What did I say?
Everything. Everything. The most recent USF news were that leaker and the guy that wanted to apply to become a hitman. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
I remember that.
Dumbass who leaked his shit onto Discord, and then that Discord leaked it onto a Minecraft Discord, and then the Minecraft Discord leaked it on the Minecraft server.
Jesus. I've thought about joining the military at various parts of my life, but I am ineligible for lots of reasons. I get why the restrictions are so strict, but, like, I don't know, I find it interesting. Because, like, all of the restrictions for, like, mental health conditions, they're gonna weed out so many more people who, like, would previously not have been diagnosed prior to Gen Z, and therefore would have been able to join the military, but now that we're all seeking therapy and doctors, we are no longer eligible to join. It's interesting. Me explaining how government movers work. That's my understanding. It could possibly work differently, but that's the only thing that I can think of.
Well, it's part of his job, so he can tell you if you're right or not.
Yeah.
Do they still do shit that way? Are they still bad at it?
We lost a full tub of stuffed animals when we came back from overseas. It's so sad. Those were, like, precious to me. I miss my giraffe.
Like, when I tell you I don't know how I would have made it this far if Jimmy wasn't here. Like, genuinely. Like, he helped me set up he did most of the work and getting the emulator set up. Like, he did 99% of it. The 1% that I did was clicking the buttons he told me to click. And even then, I kind of fucked it up. So, it took about... We were probably maybe 80% of the way into it when I finally figured out what the fuck we were doing, and then I could kind of do it not necessarily on my own, but without as much baby little hand holding, you know.
No, it does not.
Too much oxygen.
It's either something very official or something semi-vulgar. That's usually what acronyms are in the military.
Touch my octopus.
No, it's usually like any acronym in the military is either something official or something that, like, personnel have made up to make their lives
like the water cooler.
More entertaining.
Like the water cooler.
Yeah, I don't know. I was quite young when my dad was in the military.
Yes.
And even by the time he was fired from his civilian job, I was still quite young.
You were 10, right? Or 9, because you said 2010 was when he stopped the civilian job.
I was 12 by that time. No, it was he left the military. He retired from the military in 2008, and he continued to work as a civilian for the military for several more years. So, but we lived in the place that I last lived in. For several years before he was fired.
I need to make sure. I just downloaded Skyward Sword through the emulator. I need to make sure it's going to open in the emulator because it's a different web file type. Oh, I removed it from the home screen. Shit. What the fuck was it called? I don't remember. Oh, here it is. It's recently added. Let me put it here. System.
Jared, you gotta tell me what it means.
Yeah, let me open that back up so you can see it. You probably need the Wii emulator. Oh, it's a PS2 emulator. True.
I truly wouldn't care that much, and I'm sure that I've said it before.
Which I can download from the vault. Okay.
I'm sure that I've said it before. Like, if I told you... Let's see. There are things... Okay, I can think of a trail of information that if I told you specific things, you could probably find him.
Yeah, like his first, last name, his mom's maiden name, his home address, and
but like the collection of the job, the location, the year, could probably get there. Not necessarily the rank, but that would contribute.
Jimmy, all the emulators on the layer are safe, right? I assume they are. That's where I got the PS2 one from, so. You gonna go back to work?
This is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going back to work.
Okay, because
tell me if Jarek tells you what it means.
yeah, because I was downloading Dolphin, which is the Wii emulator, which is a adorable name for a Wii emulator, by the way. And my computer's like, make sure you trust this before you. This isn't commonly downloaded. Make sure you trust it. Yeah. Microsoft Defender's Smart Screen couldn't verify if this file is saved because it isn't commonly downloaded. Make sure you trust the file you're downloading or its source before you open it. So, I just wanted to make sure. GameCube/Wii. So, I can get a lot found out of his DoD ID number, but Army also used service number for a time. DoD IDs weren't pushed heavily until after 2010, at least in my experience. So he may not have it. Well, I guess we'll find out. I can download it and see if my computer decides to blow up. Because it's a zip file, it can't really properly scan it, so. I don't have to unzip it, do I? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. What is the file type of the emulator or of the game? Because the game is a WBFS file. Neither do I. Dolphin X64. Sounds custom. Beats me. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're going to read this, too. Dolphin emulator is safe. Fandom Fire Emblem Wiki says it's safe. There's one called Simu. Okay, there's no problems like malware or anything. The internet says it's fine. And we trust the internet, right? We trust the internet. It's still very common for us to play pranks on people by fucking with their IDs. Most extreme I've seen is people welding the ID in the metallic frame. Furthest I've gone was put tape over the chip, which makes the user unable to access their work PCs. You used Simu? Yeah, I think Simu is just a Wii emulator, based on what I saw just now. CEMU, yeah. There's a Zemu, which is an Xbox One, XEMU, but... Oh, Simu is just Wii U. But the Wii U plays all Wii games, so... Okay. Okay, so Dolphin will be fine. I've already got it downloaded. I just got to get it set up, and I don't know how to do that. But we can set that up later. I'm not going to be playing... Skyward Sword anytime soon, so we can set up that some other time. We don't have to do that today. It can just sit in my downloads and chill in a zip file. I just wanted to go on and download the game because sometimes it could take a while, so... because I was already downloading... I just went ahead and downloaded the game because the game already takes a while, so... we're going to take Fear off the list. Alright. Okay, so back to Reddit. We got about 20 minutes left, so... Alright. OP says the sister and her husband were still having sex once a week. That is hardly you need a doctor because there's something wrong with you territory. If she's not satisfied, she's well within her rights to walk away, but acting like her husband is abnormal for it is a problem. My sister's ex treated her this way, and she told me that the more he asked, i.e. demanded sex, the less she was willing to concede because it came to feel like a chore. If she gave in, he'd just ask for it even more often, and she said, why would you want to have sex with someone who treats you like that? OP also says the sister said without sex, the husband was basically a roommate. They were still having sex, but it sounds like sex was the only thing holding the marriage together, and that, I think, is what OP had a problem with. There's more to the sister's relationship than the surface story, and just based on OP's comments, the sister has some issues with how she treated her partner, which is what I got as well. So... yeah. If this were a man saying, I only get sex once a week from her, so something must be hormonally wrong, and she won't fix it, so I am leaving, the entirety of the sub would be demanding his head. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We probably have time for one or two more, right? Let's see. Oh. There's a lot of not the assholes. These aren't very juicy. Ooh, this one sounds good. Demi, did you say that the cable modem I sent you is good? I know. These stories aren't... Oh, this one's not very long at all. We need more spice. I, 29 female, or am I the asshole for getting a pregnancy craving during a party? I, 29 female, am pregnant with my boyfriend, Sam, 32. You're pregnant with your boyfriend? You're growing your boyfriend inside of you? Sam and I went to a party for his family. No momentous occasion, just a normal family get-together. During my pregnancy, I have intense cravings. While we were at the party, I told Sam I was craving a slushie about 30 minutes away. We had just arrived about 20 minutes prior. He said to give him a little while and we'd go get one. After about 30 more minutes, I said it to him again. He said, fine, get in the car. On our way there, we got into an argument and he thinks the craving could have waited a couple hours. He's now mad at me and that we had to leave the party early. We see his family 2 to 3 times a month, sometimes more, and I don't think it's a big deal to leave when I have a craving. She got death threats over this. Fucking Reddit. No, I said Jimmy. Jimbo. Jimbob. Jimison. A craving is something you'd really like to have, not life or death. You acted poorly like a child. Maybe both of you go. Why couldn't you go alone? Yeah. I don't understand why some people are so intense about their pregnancy cravings. I'm almost 26 weeks pregnant. Sure, I've had cravings where something sounded good, nice. Never have I ever absolutely needed to have it. Most of the time, I ignore my cravings. In fact, because a cupcake, burger, mashed potato with pickles and mustard are not exactly healthy food. The only time pregnancy cravings should always be indulged if they coincide with extreme nausea / food aversions. I had some days in the first trimester where the only food I could keep down was an Impossible Whopper, and I don't even like burgers. Never ate them before I got pregnant. And even then, you get them at an appropriate mealtime when it is convenient. You never need to get them immediately. Yeah. But these two are pretty cheap, so they're not too bad in price. Used good. Jesus Christ. $10, but packaging is damaged. Bonus materials are missing, and the item itself is damaged. So, but still working. I'll just get the new one and make sure it works. I get if she was like 8 months along and you can't drive, but 2 to 4 months into a pregnancy, you can still drive to get the slushie yourself, or if you're in a bigger city, DoorDash it. Yeah. Or just like be an adult and get over it. Just go crunch some ice or something from the kitchen, you know, like. Okay. And I can actually go on and order these once I get paid tonight, because I can go and ship them to the new place. Because it says it's gonna take them a minute, anyways. Because they can just sit in the shipping room, in the package room for a couple days until I get there. Especially if I order tonight, they won't arrive on Wednesday. $102 total, so that's a good price. And they should come with most of the cables that I need, and if they don't have all of them, I should already have them because I've got a bunch of cables. So, yeah, I'll probably order those tonight after I get paid, or tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning before I go into work. Or, yeah, fuck, I have to go into work tomorrow morning. Shit. That's awful. Gross. To go to work tomorrow. I don't like it. That's nasty and awful, and I hate it. How long is the drive? It's a 12-hour drive. Was it? Well, too late. We already did it. Thank you for your help. I appreciate you. And then I can sign up for the internet itself. Which I'll do both of those once I'm paid. I'll do that in the morning or tomorrow. I'm surprised they don't charge you for using your own equipment. You know, you'd think they'd want you to use their equipment. So, that's a little weird. Wow, unlimited data plan is an extra $50 a month. If I was living with like 4 other people, that would make sense. But, you know. Yeah, just buying anything outright is generally smarter than renting, yeah. I'll make sure to do that before I go to work tomorrow. But honestly, in my opinion, the easiest would be the final hour-ish. Yeah, those last few hours will go by pretty quick, yeah. Hours are unlimited by default. Lucky bastards. I'm on pregnancy number 4, and honestly not for each pregnancy, but some I've had an intense cravings. That being said, the most that happens when you don't indulge, or worst case scenario, sudden hormonal reactions like crying, which you're still entirely aware is just your hormones, and your consciousness is funny and not life or death. That being said, yeah, it 100% can wait, and she should have gone alone. It was a bit rude to make them go. Pregnancy is hard, but a slushie definitely is not a must-have in that moment. Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen videos of women online who are like super pregnant, and they're like I saw one of this one woman a while ago. They were at a restaurant and they'd already ordered and they were waiting on their food, but she was craving the food that they'd ordered. They were at the specific restaurant to get that specific food from that specific place, and it was just taking them a long time to get it out. And she started crying, but she was laughing because she wasn't actually sad. She just couldn't control the tears coming out because her hormones were like, "Give me the food now." It was a very amusing video because it's clear she wasn't like in distress. She was very amused by it herself, and she was like, "I don't know why I'm crying," like. Let's do some tea. These are also short. The Redditor update ones are so long, so I think that makes these ones feel even shorter. That was weird. I've got the stream open over here just because that's where I access chat information sometimes. But I have it in like really low res, so it doesn't affect my stream ability. And I saw a comment. I think it was an old one. It just must have refreshed because I don't have this page open 24/7. So that was really weird. I was like, I don't remember seeing that comment. Whatever. All right. Am I the asshole for opting out of my best friend's wedding because they didn't invite my girlfriend? I am a 28-year-old male, and my childhood best friend Brad is also 28. He is getting married in late May to Vicky, 26. A week ago on Easter, I received his wedding invite, which only listed my name but not my girlfriend Mary, 28. For context, Brad, Mary, and I have known each other since high school. We were in the same friend group. Mary and I live around 2 hours away from Brad and Vicky. Because Mary is a nurse, she doesn't always have time to visit Brad and Vicky with me, so I go alone most of the time, but when she is able to, she will join me. Mary has met Vicky and seen her around 10 times in the past 4 years. In the past 4 years that Vicky was with Brad. Mary and I have been together for 6 years total, and we do plan on getting engaged and married once we are more financially settled. So I asked Brad if Mary is invited, and they just forgot to mention her name, to which she replied that Vicky is very strict about some rules, and in order to cut down costs, she's enforcing a no ring, no bring rule for the wedding. So since Mary is just a girlfriend and doesn't have a ring to imply some formality, then she's not invited. I remember Brad, Mary, and I have been together longer than he is with... Sorry, I can't read. I reminded Brad that Mary and I have been together longer than he has with Vicky, and that Mary is also his friend, not just my partner. He says he knows, and he tried to talk Vicky out of it, but she's very strict with that. I let it go, and I was in the dilemma about whether I should go to the wedding or not because of that. Mary told me she's not happy about the situation, but I should go to avoid more drama, so I called them to tell them I'll attend. Vicky picked up the phone and said she's sorry about making me uncomfortable by not inviting Mary, but these are the rules. I said I respect the rules. I'm not necessarily happy about it, though. She then, for some reason, started being harsh about how Mary and I are not in a serious enough relationship if, after knowing each other for so long and being together for 6 years, we are not engaged yet, and joked that, after all, you never know what tomorrow brings, and I could break up with Mary anytime since we haven't shown any signs of true commitment. Being together 6 years isn't a sign of true commitment? What the fuck is, then? I confronted her and told her that it's not her place to validate Mary and I's relationship, and that it's really low of her to use a dumb rule just to shame and micromanage long-term couples who, for whatever reason, haven't gotten married yet. I said I'll pass after all and not attend the wedding. She and Brad said that I'm disrespecting them and their choices by choosing Mary over their wedding day, and I said I don't care. Keep your rules and I'll keep my relationship because it's more important than any exclusive rules that only exist in order to shame people. Also, I thought they wanted true signs of commitment. Isn't standing by your wife a true sign, or your partner a true sign of commitment? I've been receiving a lot of backlash from other friends for the choice who say I'm an asshole for being so bitter about something so small, but to me it is not small. They invalidated Mary and our relationship. Yeah, that's shitty. That's fucking stupid. What a stupid rule, and stupid in this instance for many specific reasons. First of all, Mary and Brad were in the same high school friend group, so it could easily be argued that she could be invited purely based on being his friend and totally independent of her relationship with you. Second, using marriage as a barometer of commitment is insane. So that by the bride's logic, if cousin Chad gets drunk in Vegas and marries the girl he's been dating for 2 weeks, she would get an invite while your girlfriend of 6 years would not, and that is so dumb. On top of all of this, you were initially willing to let it go and come anyhow, but then the bride had to double down and insult your relationship to your face. That just sucks. Grooms needs to step up and be a good friend and tell the bride she's being ridiculous. Agreed. I agree. OP replied, I really tried to look past so much stuff and go to the wedding just to honor my friend, but I was willing to let go of the fact that Brad didn't even invite Mary, not as my girlfriend, but as his friend. They're friends, for God's sake. The fact that she's in a relationship with me now doesn't change the fact that we are friends. But it's like Vicky wanted to rub it in my face about the no ring bring thing and how insignificant my relationship with Mary is to her. I bet $100 that Vicky just doesn't like Mary, and that's the real underlying issue here. When someone comes up with a BS rationale like this, it's usually hiding a darker reason. It's true. It's true. Yeah, I agree, Jarek. I think we got a bit of a bridezilla going on there. Okay, we got an everyone sucks. That's a good one to end on. Yeah, I was right. I'm gonna almost hit 4 hours. Max and I gotta go pick up my car. That's hopefully good to go now. And then I won't have to take it back to them ever again. At least not in this state. And then, plot twist, Mary and Brad used to fuck. Come on, we need more spice here. Honestly, these are like the least spicy Am I the Asshole posts. Like, it's been a while. I thought we'd have some good ones because it'd been so long. But no, it's just the same stupid shit. Whatever. All right, last one for the day, for the week. And until Wednesday, next Wednesday. Am I the asshole for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in friend group can't attend? Before we do this, I gotta try not to kill myself with this water, but I need some water. All right, there we go. All right. Howdy, guys. Recently, my friend group has been divided on an issue. I have a group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s, and the only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. The only person in our that could have been typed better. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and don't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. 1 doesn't want to host, 2 live with their parents and can't, another has a roommate and that won't let them, etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't really anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out in reality. The only way we can really all hang out. When I host, it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house since my dog is afraid of children, and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog growls at kids. Happens. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecue. Everyone was invited, same rules as the norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids because she can't afford a babysitter, and since both of their dads aren't involved at all, I said no because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them, she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also, her toddler puked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Why do you have a 5K white couch? I mean, I guess couches can get expensive. Why do you have a white couch, though? You're the asshole. Why'd you buy a white couch? What the fuck you have a dog? Why did you buy a white... Who buys white furniture? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, white furniture you sit on, not like a white shelf or something. Like, we're talking like a white couch. Poor decisions were made. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her I'm not excluding her. I'm excluding kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of that is possible, and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split. Half think it's my house is my rules. 1 said maybe if she's screwed better guys, she'd be able to have a babysitter. And 2 think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else, I would maybe cave, but I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. Am I the asshole for making child not friendly plans that someone in my friend group can't make it to? Maybe the dog is white. Maybe. Am Edit, I got the couch professionally cleaned and they couldn't get the very large stain out. Update, after reading all your comments, I've realized I'm tired of dealing with Jessica. I'm going to tell her she's no longer welcome at my house and ask her to pay for my couch. If she doesn't, then we can go to court about it. Another edit, you guys are really mad. I like nice white couches, but I'll give further info. If she screwed other guys, is definitely invited to my place for a beer. Same. Because I can't lie, that thought passed through my mind as well, that she's got 2 kids from 2 different guys and they're only in their mid-20s. Yikes. I considered having the couch reupholstered, but the cost to have it shipped out, fixed, and shipped back costs over $5K, so it was cheaper and easier to just buy a new one. Yes, I have a white couch and a dog. My dog knows not to go near the couch. I've had the couch for 2 years without incident. It's fine until Jessica's kids show up. I didn't invite Jessica and her kids. I said no kids are allowed, and she showed up with her kids while I was in the bathroom and set her kids down on the couch. Her kid then puked all over it. Okay. I don't know if this is an everyone sucks here. I think the owner of the house is allowed to set their own rules. If you don't want kids at your house, you shouldn't have to have kids at your house. Like, that's, like, despite the fact that she seems like a bit of a bitch anyways, because of the whole white couch, I'm going to take her to court over it thing. Like, I don't think the situation of the actual setting up of the plants and not including the children, I don't think that makes her an asshole. You know, but I can understand why people say everyone sucks here, because I do think OP is a bit of an ass, but I don't think in this specific situation. I don't think that this specific situation is what makes her the asshole. You know what I mean? I don't think the friend is really an asshole either, outside of the fact that she doesn't seem to respect this person's house boundaries, which isn't okay. OP is also being responsible. He knows this dog doesn't like kids, and probably another layer of protection for said kids from the dog. Exactly. If the dog growls at kids, that's just one more step for the dog biting a kid, and then guess what happens? The dog gets blamed, despite the fact the kids are probably the problem. So, you know. Is this the Wi-Fi thing? Oh, it's in euros. Because his, take that .de out of there. Ah. It opened it as if I'm not in the US. That's weird. Huh? Oh. I love that when I clicked on the link, it opened it like I was in the UK. That's funny. Oh yeah, the cute little plug-in. That's cute. Oh yeah, so he can put it in his room, so he actually has access to the Wi-Fi in his bedroom. And they're cheap too. That's nice. I still think that's funny because that never happens. Maybe because the link you posted is an EU link, which is fine for Jarek because that's where he's at. But that was funny. Yeah, same. So did mine, which I think is funny. Yeah, it did. It opened for it said Amazon.de, so. Yeah, I don't think anyone here is really an asshole for the specific situation. I think the host has the right to set the boundaries of no kids. Regardless of reasoning behind it, you're allowed to say no kids in my house. Like, you don't need to give a reason for it. And I don't think that makes him an asshole. And then the friend is an asshole for bringing their kids over that one time when they have been expressly told not to. But I don't think... Am I the asshole for making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group can't attend? No. That portion of it does not make you an asshole. Do I think you're an asshole outside of that? Yes. Do I think it's because of the specific situation? No, not necessarily. And that's going to do it for that. Well, it seems they've always had a no kids rule, but then it was probably enforced. Like, it probably influenced the kid puke. Probably it was like, oh yeah, no, definitely no kids. Get the fuck out of my house. What the fuck? So, so, something's moving around and I don't know what it is. Alrighty. That is going to do it here in Nashville. This is the last stream for here. I hope to stream next Wednesday, but I'll let you know if that doesn't end up working out. If anything weird happens with the internet, then obviously I won't be able to stream. I wish me luck over this next week. I'm going to need it. It's going to be a busy, busy time. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I hope to see you next Wednesday with some Silent Hill 2. I am looking forward to this next stage of my life, and I'm excited that I will have some form of friends to speak to that aren't just Max during that process. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Fingers crossed. Have a great time. Goodbye.